Welcome everybody to the fourth race of the SCARTS Road Course Series, being held in Interlagos, which is well known for holding the Brazilian Grand Prix in F1, but today it's going to host the SCARTS Road Course Series. Starting grid, we've got Szymek on the pole, with Delux next to him in second. Burnout and Laugh are in the second row, and then Sims bringing up the rear in fifth. We're just about to get going, 53 laps on the circuit. And the green flag is out and the race has begun. In the first turn, you see Szymek gets into the wall, has to wait for Sims because he slowed him down too. The rest of the field gets going. Delux and Laugh side by side for the lead. Delux pulls away with it. Now Burnout challenging for second, gives a little push to Laugh. Now they weave through this tight section of hairpins. This track is really separated into two parts. You have the first half of the lap and the last tiny bit here on the front stretch where you have very fast speeds, fast corners, wide open, and then some pretty high speed corners along with it. And then the rest of the track you have very tight hairpins. There's going to be a lot of contact there, and there's also plenty of walls that are right next to the track, so you have to be careful. Make sure you don't hit those walls like Delux just did right there. You've got basically a car width in between the racing surface and the wall, so you have to make sure that you give yourself plenty of room, otherwise you might have problems there. You see there are a few spots where most of the drivers are shortcutting a little bit over the grass. That's okay in some respects, but you've got to make sure that you're not passing people by just running completely off the track. So through all this, Laugh has come out with the lead, Burnout chasing him in second, Delux is third, Szymek in fourth, and Sims in fifth. Burnout and Laugh for first and second is the closest battle we've got on the track right now, although Szymek seems to be catching up nicely to Delux. Sims falling way behind in fifth so far. Delux leads lap 3. With only 53 laps, it is a bit of a short race, although these laps are very long. That does make it so that cautions are going to take up sort of a larger percentage of the race, so if this does become a caution-filled race, it's going to come down to short runs, definitely. Catching Laugh just a little bit there. He's inching up ever so close, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. Did take about 4/10 off the lead that lap. Laugh goes a little bit wide through that corner. Let's take a look behind for the battle for third. Szymek is now pretty much all the way up on Delux. Delux goes wide onto the slick asphalt on the runoff area. That's not where you want to go. There's no grip up there, so you have to make sure you stay within the white lines. Burnout's got a run on Laugh this time. He's got the draft. Let's see if he can make a dive into turn 1. Decides against it, although Laugh puts it into the wall, and that is the cause of our first yellow. Laugh put it in the wall, Burnout got basically stopped by him. That will be our first caution. Laugh will retain the lead, although he probably should have given the spot to Burnout, but either way. Burnout in second, Szymek third, Delux fourth, Sims bringing up the rear in fifth. Sims still has yet to catch up with the field. He's coming. Hey, look, now he's there. How about that? Alright, so pit road is open. Looks like everybody's gonna pit. Ran 6 laps, and that was about a third of their fuel tank. See, they're slightly spread out on pit road, which should hopefully reduce the likelihood of pit road incidents, like we saw at Brands Hatch, for example. Burnout just ekes out the lead against Laugh there. Szymek in third, Delux in fourth, Sims still in fifth. Alright, they've gridded up, they're ready to go. Burnout leads him to the flag. Sims looking like he wants to go down pit road. The green flag is back out. Szymek with a little bit of a jump there, he had to give it back. In the process of doing that, he left himself wide open for Delux, who's now in third. Laf putting pressure on Burnout. Burnout takes the defensive line. He's able to retain his position. Contact all the way through the field there. Burnout gets the worst of it. Laf into the lead, Delux up to second, Szymek into third. It's really nobody's fault. They all kind of just came together. Burnout being up front got the worst of it because he didn't have anybody to run into in front of him, slow him back down. So Laf will lead lap 8. But he goes wide into the wall. With that, Delux takes the lead. Looks like Sims also slid into that same wall. Delux into the lead. Burnout a bit hairy there. Szymek up into second. He gets a big run, then runs into the back of Delux. That slowed him down and put him into the wall. So now Burnout is up to second. Szymek back to third. Lots of places on this track where you really have to be on the edge of control and the edge of running into the wall, basically, in order to make time. You can always be conservative, but you're not going to be fast if you're conservative. So these guys are really taking chances. Delux right next to the inside wall there. He took a pretty slow entry into the next corner. Burnout ended up running into the back of him. That'll get them back separated once again. Still Delux, Burnout, Szymek. Both Delux and Burnout set fastest lap, right one after each other. Delux was going slow. Burnout tried to avoid him, and in the process of avoiding him, he ran himself into the wall. So now Szymek's back up to second. Makes a nice run on Delux there. But he's not close enough quite yet to make a dive. If he can just get a little bit closer, he'll be within the drafting distance for this long straightaway. Looks like Delux eked out just enough of a lead to be able to keep out of Szymek's draft. Then he made a nice move through that corner to support his lead even more. You can see as the tires are starting to wear out, these guys are really getting more on edge with their sliding, and also for just if they just barely clip that outside tarmac, they really get sideways. Both Szymek and Burnout did that in turn 4. Szymek sets fastest lap. He was in the draft for the front straightaway, so that'll help his time out a little bit. See, Delux goes wide, and that's going to give Szymek the lead. Burnout's able to get past Delux, but they're now battling for second. Laf is still all alone in fourth, and Sims all alone in fifth. Szymek's got a couple second lead now. We'll see when they cross the line exactly how far ahead he is. It's actually 3 seconds flat. Delux still trying to work back on Burnout. Burnout's definitely driving on the edge here. You can tell he's got the speed, but this is a pretty unforgiving track, so if you're trying to make tons of speed like that, then you're going to be out of luck if you make even a little bit of a mistake. That's the risk you got to take. And it's working so far. He cut off a little bit under 2/10 from the lead that lap, and also gained about a second on Delux. Delux into the wall there in turn 1. Field pretty well spread out at this point. The closest battle is Szymek and Burnout for the lead here. Delux is well clear of Laugh for fourth. And Sims is all by himself as well in fifth. Szymek and Burnout pretty much even that lap. Let's take a look at where Szymek is running on the track. Looks like he's pretty much running the same line as Burnout, maybe cutting that line, that turn right there. He was a little bit tighter to the inside. It's a little bit more of a conservative line. But other than that, I think they're pretty much running the same line. Burnout sets fastest lap at 36.093. It's caught up about 2/10 on Szymek. Szymek's going a little bit more aggressively now. Try to respond to that. They're basically running the same line all the way around the track. There's no big differences. There's nothing that one's doing that the other one should be doing. See, Szymek's about to catch Sims to lap him. The last lap for Szymek was a couple tenths off of the fast lap that Burnout had just set, but it was pretty much even with Burnout's last lap as well, so he's still making some decent progress. Sims and Burnout both slide into the wall there. Almost looked like there was oil on track or something. And that's just going to give Szymek even more of an advantage. Oh, but he crashes himself on the front stretch. That's a costly place to make a mistake, since you're at full speed right there. Just like that, Burnout and Szymek are pretty close to each other once again. It was a 4.2 second lead before then. Oh, but Burnout once again goes too wide through that corner. That's where he's really been aggressive compared to some of the other cars. And as the tires have worn off these cars, that's not going to be the best way to do it, just because you're at such a risk of going wide there and hitting the fence. With the combination of mistakes there, we're now back to where we were before. Szymek up 2.8 seconds on Burnout. It's caught Delux up by about 2 seconds, but he's still 7.8 back. And it looks like Burnout's made another mistake. Delux is right on his tail. After a few mistakes early in the run, it seems like Delux has gotten a little bit more consistent later in the run, especially compared to the leaders who've had trouble keeping it off the wall. Szymek now 8 seconds clear of Burnout, with Delux another 0.8 of a second behind. We've completed 20 laps of the 53. Burnout once again goes wide, Delux goes into him, and that's going to cause our caution. So Burnout's made that mistake about 3 or 4 times at this point, but finally it comes back to bite him, although then again it erases Szymek's 8 second lead, so honestly Szymek might be the beneficiary of it. Looks like Sims is retiring. He's had a pretty rough go of it so far. And now everybody's going to pit. This was right at the end of a fuel run anyway. They had maybe 2 or 3 laps that they could go. And this should put everybody on the same fuel strategy. They should be able to do it in one more stop if they cut it evenly. Obviously, if there are cautions, that's going to change up. But it looks like our running order is unchanged after the pits. And we're down to 4 cars. Gonna get the green with 23 laps complete, 30 to go. Szymek in the lead. Delux challenges, but he's unable to keep up. Laugh gets by Burnout in turn 1. Laugh slowing down Burnout a bit, so Szymek and Delux are able to get away. They make some contact for third there. They're still going back and forth. Laugh comes up with third place still. And Szymek's able to pull away just a little bit from Delux. Burnout goes wide trying to get around Laugh. Laugh can be pretty hard to pass sometimes. He knows how to put his car in a place to defend. Although there he put his car into the wall right in front of Burnout, and that's going to cause another caution. Alright, skip ahead to pit stops. Once again, it looks like everybody's going to go in. Burnout's taking fuel only. Looks like everybody else is going to commit to tires. They only ran a couple laps between the restart and the caution, so their tires should be in pretty good shape. Let's take a look. Yeah, Burnout's at 97% currently. So by the time it evens out, it'll probably be about a 4% disadvantage, but that's really not a big deal. Not a bad spot to take fuel only, but with the way these drivers have been struggling on older tires at the end of a run, especially in some of the faster corners staying on track, that 4% might not be something that you'll want to be without at the end of the run, but at the same time, if we get a caution in the next few laps, then it won't really matter. We're ready for the restart now. Your order is Burnout with slightly older tires, then Szymek in second, Delux in third, Laugh in fourth. So green flag's out. Burnout takes the defensive line. Szymek tries to go for the outside. Gets some help from Delux. Tries to make a run on the inside, but hits the side of Burnout and loses his run. So Burnout's going to keep the lead for now. Szymek close behind. Szymek taking the tighter line to the inside. Burnout aggressively going to the outside. That's the main difference between the two of them. Delux to the inside of Szymek now, but he gives up the spot since he didn't really have much room to make a move. So Burnout's going to retain the lead from Szymek and Delux. Szymek into the outside wall on the straightaway, and once again we have a yellow flag from that same mistake. It's been pretty common, which I was expecting there to be more drama coming from the hairpin sections, but it looks like these guys have been trying to get every last little bit they can out of that first turn, and they're trying to set themselves up really wide, and in doing so they're so focused on hitting the turn right that they're getting into the wall on the outside but on the straightaway. It's an easy thing to do, especially with the way the wall kind of blends into the track and the line, but it's still kind of, it's not a mistake I expected to see a whole lot of, especially because this is SCARTS with so many oval races where we're used to running right next to the wall. Looks like Delux just beats out Szymek in the pits. Burnout stayed out and did not pit. He should be fine on fuel compared to these guys, but once again he's putting himself at a disadvantage on tires. He's now 6% behind, which isn't the end of the world. Coming up to complete lap 29 as we receive the green flag. We're underway once again. 24 laps to go. Burnout holds the lead from Delux, then Szymek and Laugh. Burnout with a really good restart there. Delux looked like he wanted to make a move, but he backed out of it wisely. He's been giving everybody a whole lot of room this race, not making any crazy dive bombs, not really going for wild moves or anything like that. If he doesn't think he have it, he's just been backing out, which at the end of the day, that's gonna put you in the good graces of your competitors and maybe get you a break that gets you a position at the end of the race. So can't blame the strategy there. Now they're side by side. The Delux on the outside, which is where Burnout's tended to be. Oh, Burnout puts himself in the wall. In the process, Szymek got through all three of them, and he's able to take the lead. Delux is now still in second, but chasing Szymek instead of chasing Burnout. Burnout retains third ahead of Laugh, however. Once again, Delux opts to take the more conservative route instead of going for a dive bomb. Looks like he's really trying to get a good run through the corner and then pass on the straights. Through this tight hairpin section. Szymek goes a little bit wide, but he had enough of a run that it didn't quite matter. And he's able to pull out just a little bit of a lead. Delux is going to draft back up to him a little bit. But Szymek does set fastest lap. He goes wide through turn 2. Now he has to take the defensive line. Delux on the outside. They both get a little bit squirrely there on either side, but they make it through. Delux backs off once again. He's setting up the corners, but with these really tight corners, if you get a big run on somebody, it's very easy to run into the back of them and push them forward, and then you lose all the advantage you had. Now Delux is taking a more aggressive line, makes the move, a little bit of contact, but he had the position, and he's through to the lead with 20 laps to go. Looks like Burnout made a mistake in turn 1. Szymek now chasing Delux. Delux has been chasing for pretty much the last 10 laps. Finally is able to get through. Let's see if he's able to pull out a bit of a lead. Hasn't done so yet. Szymek's still within drafting distance of him. So Delux is not quite out of dodge yet in his Ford. Delux a bit wide. Szymek was so close to also joining him wide out there, but he was able to keep it tidy and keep the lead. Now Delux and Burnout battling for second. Delux has been pretty conservative trying to chase these guys down. He finally gets ahead and finally makes a mistake, which is a bit tough for him, but he's definitely got the speed to run with these guys. Oh, but he hits the wall on the inside of turn 1 there. It's going to take him out of contention for second, at least for now. Szymek goes wide, Burnout to the lead. Burnout awfully close to going wide there as well. Through all this, Laugh has caught back up to the rear of the field. He's in contention now. All 4 drivers pretty close to each other. They're at least on the same screen when you're going through the hairpin section. Szymek and Burnout are the closest battle, though, for the lead. Burnout pulling away just a little bit through the first couple turns there. And into turn 4. Delux gets a good run through there, so he chopped off a bit of the lead. Szymek's line through the inside there seems to be pretty effective when he gets it right. Burnout going very aggressive and kind of sliding wide. Not sure if that's the best line. It's obviously working for him, but it might not quite be optimal. We're about halfway through a fuel run. 16 laps to go, so they should be right around now. They could pit and be able to make it to the end of the race, assuming there are no cautions. Burnout and Szymek making some contact. That brings Delux right back in there. Szymek takes the lead. Burnout gives him a bit of a push. I think Burnout realized that was kind of his fault, so he wanted to make sure they got away from Delux. Now he's trying to make a move to the outside. Slows down to give him room. pushes him out a bit wide into the wall. Delux into Burnout. But they all get going. No caution for that. Oh, Delux too wide on entry. That puts him into the wall. Szymek back into the lead after all that mess. Burnout still right behind him. And you've got Laugh in third now. Delux is in fourth. But they're all within shouting distance of each other. Szymek goes too wide on entry, just like Delux did in turn 4. And just like that, Burnout's in the lead. Whole field within 1.3 seconds of each other. Szymek gets a great run through the first turns. He's got the preferred line, but he goes way too far to the inside, Burnout to the outside, and we get a caution. So there are 2 single car incidents, so we probably could have kept going for that, but still an entertaining moment between the 2 leaders who had a couple run-ins the previous laps. And out of all of that, Laugh ended up in the lead. Although it's a shame for him that once he finally gets the lead, it's a caution. Has the chance to give it all right back up on a restart. Or on pit road for that matter. So here we are in the pits. Looks like everybody is going to take full fuel and tires. That's a smart strategy considering this should be everybody's last required pit stop. Oh, and Laugh loses it all there on pit road. So Delux will be your leader, Burnout in second, and then Laugh, and then Szymek. Alright, we're ready for the restart. 12 laps to go. Delux your leader. Green flag's out. Burnout takes a look, but then gets back in line. Laugh tries to go around Burnout. Burnout went a bit wide into the slippery stuff, so he loses all his positions. He's back to fourth now. Laugh gets pushed a little bit wide. Burnout passes both Laugh and Szymek. Szymek into the wall. Delux slots away with a decent little lead out of all that. Szymek through Laugh for third. Delux has been steady pretty much the whole race. He's made a few mistakes, but he's been pretty much there and solid the whole time. Not necessarily the fastest guy on the track, but making fewer mistakes than his competitors. Now he's out front. So the strategy seems to be working. 11 laps to go. Burnout trying to close in a bit. But so far unable to do so. Delux sets his personal best time. Szymek sets his personal best time and the fastest lap. Caught him up a couple tenths on Delux. All 3 of our leaders setting some of their best laps of the race right now. The intensity is definitely ratcheting up. And Burnout and Szymek both go too aggressive into that corner and slide into the wall. However, it's a slow enough section that that's not a huge mistake. Burnout gets a great run off of that final corner there. He's definitely got the run on Delux. Delux goes wide. Burnout goes a little bit wide, but he was able to get a better run out of that. Szymek falling back a little bit. We've got 9 laps to go. Delux, into the wall. But they keep going. So Burnout gets the spot out of that. Laugh's now caught up pretty close to the lead battle. No caution though, since they were the 2 leaders and they were both able to get going. Delux almost gets into the wall on the front stretch after a little bit of contact with a Laugh. Laugh's through to second now. Delux trying to look on the inside, look on the outside. Gets a draft. Actually gives him a bump draft to try to get him up next to Burnout. And he goes through the inside. And then a great run through there. Laugh overcooks it into the inside wall. Everybody gets around. Delux with a great turn there. He's able to take the lead, but Burnout's right back on him. Szymek up to third. Burnout to the inside for the lead. He cuts through, but he overcooked it just a little bit there. And he got bumped by Laugh, so he's going to have to give that spot back to Laugh. Szymek and Delux now battling for the lead. We've got 7 laps to go. Szymek making a run. Delux kind of cut it off a bit there. Szymek trying to make the setup. Runs right into the back of Delux, pushes him wide. So Szymek gives him the courtesy of not passing him immediately. Lets him keep going. Had a few incidents these last few laps, but nothing worthy of a caution. Szymek cuts through to the inside. He's got the lead through turn 1. Oh, but we have a yellow flag out. There must have been something with Laugh and Burnout there. Let's take a look on replay. See what happened. Going down the front stretch. Assuming something happened in the first turn. It's like Laugh. Oh, yep. He caught on the inside wall there. Stopped Burnout with him. They kind of wedged themselves into the wall. So that's a definite caution. Because Burnout got severely disadvantaged from that. So now we're going to have a 4-lap shootout for the win after pit stops. Let's see, these guys are at about half a tank of fuel and 8% down on tires, which isn't that's pretty much on the edge whether you'd want to pit or not. It's a tough call. With 4 cars, you think you're more likely to pit. And it looks like Laugh and Burnout are staying out. Szymek and Delux are pitting. I feel like with 4 laps to go and only 4 cars on the track, you would want to take tires there. But it could go either way. Oh, but Laugh was the cause of the caution, so he has to pit, so he's going to lose that track position anyway. They're able to go in both directions on the pit exit road. So with 4 laps to go, we're going to have the order of Burnout, Szymek, Delux, and Laugh. Burnout's the only one on old tires. Looks like... Let's see, it looks like everybody except for Laugh is on a lowered fuel tank. Laugh completely filled up on his pit stall. Alright, 4 laps to go. Burnout in the lead. Green flag is out. We're back to racing. Szymek gets a push from Delux, tries the outside in turn 1. Burnout a little bit wide, but he's able to keep up enough of a run. But now Szymek looking outside. Burnout almost goes too wide through that turn. Szymek cuts through to the inside. They both give each other bumps. Delux gives Burnout a bump, puts him side by side with Szymek. They're all bumping each other through those hairpins. Burnout's got to run. He's got the inside line. He's going to have the lead. Coming to 3 to go at the line. Szymek tries to cross over. He makes it work down to the inside. Burnout tries to draft. Delux is just watching back in third, waiting for his moment to pounce. Burnout, he's going to look on the outside, but kind of back out of it. Delux thought about making a dive in there as well, but he didn't. Still got plenty of time to race, so no need to make any rash moves. Laugh's in contention if anything crazy happens. But he's not as fast as these guys up front. Burnout once again to the inside on the front stretch to take the lead back from Szymek. He's leading at the line, which is where it counts on the last lap. Oh, but Szymek throws it away by going too far to the inside there. Delux now looking on the inside of Burnout. Laughs up to third through that. Delux looking inside, backs out of it. Now he's trying to set up a big run. Burnout goes way too wide through that turn, and Delux cleanly gets him. Never have an easier pass for the lead than that. And Burnout goes wide. He went too far out on the slick stuff. Now he's back to fourth. Delux with a nice lead now. He came very close to that inside wall. Almost hit it. But he's got a solid lead. He's just got to avoid making any big mistakes. Szymek and Burnout crash for third. Laugh's actually catching Delux a little bit. He's within a car length. It's within drafting distance, so it's still not over yet. But Delux gets a good final corner, and I think he's far enough away that any run won't matter. And he weaves across the line as your winner here at the first ever race at Interlagos for SCARTS. It was definitely a great race. Delux, your winner. Laugh finishes second, Szymek in third, Burnout in fourth, and Sims in fifth, even though he retired 36 laps ago. Great win for Delux, and great racing all the way in those last couple of stints. Alright, well thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back next week for the next race in the series. We'll see you then.